What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. And we've got a phenomenal guest here today. Is introduced to us by one of our very, very valued former guests and one of our favorite people, Nick Sakis. So he recommended this gentleman to us, and we had a great initial conversation, and we're going to talk about the energetic path to success, how to go from surviving to thriving. So if you are feeling that, I don't care whether you are super busy with transactions or you're super busy trying to get more clients to get transactions. If you feel like you're in that survival mode, that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to get out of that, change the energy, create miracles, transcend the laws of cause and effect, and do all kinds of fun stuff to really change your life and change your career. So we'll bring him in a second. First of all, my partner, the Junior Grandmaster, is in the co-pilot seat, although it's an unfamiliar co-pilot seat. You're not at home where you should be. You are on the road. Where are you at?
I'm in a WITSEC, Witness Protection Program safe house. That's why the left side of my face is black, so you can't really know it's me or not. Mm-hmm. They take all precautions. It's amazing. The agents outside just do wonderful jobs. No, I'm actually over at my girlfriend's house. We just got done working out, so I'm downstairs in her basement area and just kind of getting ready for this. But what I'm really excited about is the fact that talking kind of like thrive, from surviving to thriving. I think that's such an important thing because we're in February of this recording right now, and a lot of people will get pumped up in January for resolutions, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then it starts kind of waning off, and people are like, well, it didn't really work out, or I didn't get that, or something like that. And they started to go into that defeated mindset, and they started the negative spiral. So I'm really excited to kind of see how Bill's working with Nick, and kind of how that's just working and overall, because by the way, Bill, you don't know this, but I was talking with Nick the other day, and he and I had a great conversation. It started like a 6:30 in the morning phone call my time, and I'm like, what in the hell are we doing this early in the morning talking, Nick? But an hour later, we had like this transformational conversation, and we both could make a lot of money with the ideas that we came up with. So I blame you for the good thoughts he has, buddy. I blame you.
No, he's experiencing his genius.
Yeah. No, that's not a joke.
Yeah. Well, Bill, officially welcome.
Hi.
And I know that you're working with Nick, but give me some background, because you've got a really interesting background. You're doing coaching, you're specializing in coaching now, but you have a really deep background in real estate. Just give us kind of the broad brushstrokes, a little bit on what you've been up to over the past, couple of decades.
I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I've been heavily involved in real estate. I started 2 real estate offices from scratch, one in Carlsbad, California, and the other one was up in Bend, Oregon. The one in Carlsbad, the day we opened with 65 agents, and the office grew to over 200, something like that. Yeah. So I've been in real estate a while. In fact, it's funny because I don't know why I didn't think of this, for the topic of the show, the energetic path to success. I have another talk I give, which is right in alignment with this, which is called How I Sold a House While It Was on Fire.
Wait a minute. Okay. Well, we have to at least deliver the payload.
So you said you said that you were in the beginning. You're like, yeah, we want to have a good wrap up question. So there you go.
Oh, okay. We'll save that for the end. I like it. Here's the end. All right.
It's a true story too.
All right. Sold a house while it's on fire. All right. We got to come back to that. While on fire. Okay.
Yeah, with the fire department there. Yeah.
Holy cow!
With the fire department there.
We call it the fire department. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so we
gotta get to that. I'll tell you about that later.
Okay, but let's talk.
I've got 40 years business experience. 40, almost 50 years business experience owning my own businesses. But I went through a massive personal transformation about 25 years ago. So I've been on that path ever since. And gave up business per se about 10 years ago, and have only worked on give back type of projects since. And ever since I've done that, it's like I've been wildly successful. It's funny. Just the opposite. Everything's the opposite.
Yeah.
Like what I've learned is everyone's making decisions based on who they aren't.
Interesting philosophy thought there. Everyone makes decisions on who they're not.
Well, yeah, Bill, what do you mean by that?
Like I've been doing the coaching. I do business coaching, but I never talk about business because we only work on the inner game, because it's just about allowing people to understand energy, to understand the universe that we live in, and get the hell out of the physical and use the energetic qualities and resources that the universe has to offer. Always use those first.
Okay. Explain that a little bit, because I think a lot of people, what you're talking about here is a much deeper conversation than most people will probably understand. And how
actually, that's the belief, and that's a total fallacy, because it's not deep at all. The universe runs everything.
Yes, it does.
There's only 7 universal laws, and that's what runs everything. And when you understand those universal laws, really, the first 3 are fixed. The first one is everything's a vibration.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Scientifically proven.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you can change your vibration easily, you're like a radio station. You send out energy. If you were talking to Nick, I'm sure he's told you some of the things that he's happened since he's been working with me. His Facebook businesses, like, people are calling him. He's like, what the heck is going on? He changed his energy. And we're attracting the business in energetically. So when you learn how to do that, you get out of the physical and just let it happen.
Yeah, it's very, very true. I mean, I've seen it, witnessed it in my own life. You know, if someone says something negative to you, you can resonate with that negative vibe, or you can reject it away and just say, you know what?
You want to know the truth of the matter? No one can say anything negative to you.
No one can. You have to accept it to be true.
You have to make it negative.
Exactly, and that's the thing about it. You accept other people's truths into your own reality. When you can hear someone say something, it can be shooting like a BB gun against a freight train and be like, nah, I see where you're coming from this, but I just don't accept your theory on life. So, go with God. I don't really give a shit what you say.
So the fact of the matter is, we've each come to earth. We each have 7 divine gifts. We have the exact same 7 gifts, but we have them in different proportions. And we each have our own individual life lessons, right? So if I got either one of your birth dates, I can tell you exactly what you struggle with in life. I tell you, you'd just be like, this is crazy, but it's
December 10th, 1978.
December 10th?
1978. If it's sexiness, no, you're wrong.
Oh, you have thoughts running through your head all the time. You can't shut them off. Like, it's go, 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 go. New ideas all the time.
That is actually true.
You can't shut it off. In fact, it causes stress because you have so many ideas that you hate to let them go. And then you get so many, you just get bogged down and you get stuck.
Okay, this is weirding me out. Because I
can keep going.
Okay. Please continue. This is actually interesting. This is Matt. See, it's not me. This is actually the universe.
This is great. Let's keep the focus right where it should be.
It's like we were all born with it. We came into life with a little manila folder under our arm, right? And we have things that are going to cause us to learn our lessons so that we can express our divinity. So we can express that unique gift that we're here to share. We each have our own individual unique gift, and when you're sharing that, you become ageless, timeless. Everything just happens. Abundance comes running in. And all this information is here for everybody, and it's free. I don't care where you live in the world. I don't care what race, color, creed, how much money you have. Nothing matters. Everything I'm talking about is there for the taking instantly. You just need to be aware of it. So the thing that I teach is awareness, because when you have awareness, I was saying to you when I was on earlier and I didn't get to finish, Matt, I said, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of blind spots in your life. Okay. Well, everybody does. Mm-hmm. I do. Mm-hmm. What would your life be like if you were aware of some of those?
Clarity, understanding that you're like, okay, this is a place I don't know fully.
Right. And I can tell you, Greg, you don't share your wisdom. You have a very innate, universal wisdom. Like, you're connected to source. You get ideas, powerful ideas that you become afraid to share. True. Like, this doesn't really make sense. But you see, that's what thriving is trusting that the universe is bringing that energy together to let it click. You let go of it. You don't be attached to it. Just put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah, Greg, I really feel strongly that Greg needs to talk more and share more of it.
Don't worry, Matt.
I know that this is going to be used as leverage against me later. Like, Bill told me I need to talk more. Bill told me to share more.
Yeah, well, I'm connected to source, Matt. You need to respect the source.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh, I do.
You got to understand. He's got.
I love Bill.
100 pounds of ideas in a 50-pound bag. Right.
Yes.
That's his
You're 100% right. In fact, I make fun of Greg in a loving way. I make fun of him for all of his legal pads that are half filled up with all the ideas. Because he's got to get them out of his head.
Okay, I'm going to give you one tip right now on that, Greg.
Okay. Tell Matt to do everything that I come up with because it's best for the universe.
Listen very carefully.
Okay.
Listen very carefully. You're dealing with divine creation. Divine creation is all about bringing things into the physical. Okay? If that's what it's about. If you would sit down every morning when you're having coffee, take a sheet of paper, do just a head dump, okay? Whatever comes in, put it on a sheet of paper. And then just throw it away and go about your day. You'll be empty, fresh, and ready to go. I guarantee it.
Okay. All right.
That'll change your life so fast. It'll be amazing.
Should it be on a piece of paper or should it be in like a Word doc on the computer? Does it matter?
Oh, that's a great question. No. It must be on a piece of paper because when you put it on a piece of paper, you're bringing it into physical creation.
Yeah, it turns into reality. Yeah.
No, it is. It's physical creation. It's on the paper.
No. I totally agree with you. I'm agreeing with you because it goes from the intangible to the tangible. Literally, like you have.
Let me tell you what happens when that happens, though. Okay. The same thing that happens when you exercise. When you exercise, you get grounded. You feel really good. But you're connected to the earth. Mm-hmm. When you're doing these words on the computer, you're just leaving them out in the ethers floating around. You have to bring them into the physical, is writing them on a sheet of paper. So for you, if you had a written calendar, you can have one on your computer, but have a written one also that you write everything down. It'll ground you and you'll become more successful instantly.
Is that reason why a lot of people don't stick to their calendars because we rely on digital calendars?
No, it's because they've all got life lessons they don't have any awareness of.
So they're a lot more screwed up than we ever know. We just blame the calendar. It's like, our life lessons we just don't understand. Therefore, we
have. I was talking before about these blind spots. You have blind spots in your life lessons, right? Like I could tell you things going on that you'd go, that makes no sense to me because you wouldn't be familiar with it at all. But I've been doing this 8 years, and once people learn them, the most fascinating piece of this is everyone wants to be fully responsible. And the greatest form of stress and overwhelm comes from the constant frustration of banging your head against the wall, trying to do the right thing. And it's like, boom, how the hell did that happen again? Right?
True.
And when you get it, I give people a life path blueprint. And when you have that blueprint, man, you take off so fast, your shoes are still there. You're just like, oh, this is exciting. It's so true. Well, now you know what to avoid and you know where to focus. And your whole life changes instantly, energetically, which attracts in more abundance, more peace, more love, it brings everything in. It's amazing.
No, it's really true. And here's why I agree with you so much on this, Bill, is because, I mean, real estate has been something that I had no other option but to get into real estate because I failed out of college. I had no degrees. I was basically one gigantic fuck up.
But that's not true. You had a million other options. You just chose real estate.
Well, no, seriously. I had unless I wanted to work 9 to 5 at Safeway, I'm cool. No,
you had a lot of other options.
Bucks. Yeah. But I got into real estate and it's never been a passion. But doing the podcast, doing the radio show that I do every week now, doing that stuff, and it changes my energy, and I really love it, and I come alive with it, and we're seeing great responses with it. So it appears from what you're saying that I'm following my source. Like this has always been something that I've wanted to do, and I just started. Now I'm doing it.
Well, here's going to be your proof. It's easy. It's effortless.
It is effortless. Yeah.
It energizes you.
It does.
It doesn't drain anything in resistance is going to drain your energy. Anytime you're connected to anything remotely to do with your purpose, it's going to energize you. It's going to take you into an immediate state of expansion where you're attracting positive energy towards you just from the energy you're putting out, because that's how the universe works. It's always in a constant state of expansion, and it's organic. It's just like attracts like. So mindset doesn't do it. mindset's all about the past. Mindset does not work. Okay. It's cool
Interesting.
to, oh, I'm going to go do this and try that, but you're going into a state of resistance. You're not dealing with energy. What you're dealing with is logic, and logic is run by the ego.
Yeah.
Energy is run by your heart. You're happy, sad, angry, lonely. It's all about feelings.
But you can shift your feelings by a thought.
No, by
I've done
a choice.
I mean, I've shifted my feelings by thoughts.
What do you mean by that, Bill? Like when you say you can shift
you shifted it by a choice.
Okay. A choice to
take action.
Operate your mind in a certain way.
A choice to take action. He had a thought that he took action on. The choice was to take action.
Sure. Yeah.
The choice wasn't the thought. The thought maybe came from the fact that he channels information, like he's always getting information.
I'm like the Google of humans. I just channel information, Matt.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do.
That's really interesting.
Well, let's talk about resistance a little bit, because we've had another great guest. It's been a while since we had her on. Similar perspective, and really emphasize that it is possible to succeed with ease when you find the right path. It is easier. It is more energizing, and you talk about it being more energizing. There's less resistance. You're in a state of expansion. Let's talk about how do you identify that a little bit? How do you identify that space?
It's so simple. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's as simple as this. You're either living in the physical or the non-physical. Okay. I live in the non-physical. Everything I do puts the non-physical first.
Okay.
The universal laws come first. Now, when you do that, there's only two emotions that we can deal with: love or fear. Mm-hmm. Everything comes off from that. Mm-hmm. If you're angry, there's fear. If you just fall, it's either love or fear. Yeah. And there's a saying that fear knocked on the door and love answered, but no one was there, because they can't coexist.
Yeah.
They cannot coexist. Now, you do not have to go any further than that. Those are my teachings. So everything else is an interpretation of what's happening in the physical, and they can change their energy.
Okay, so next time
lessons are creating the negative energy that you don't know anything about.
So the next time Matt's frustrated at me, what would be an exercise that Matt should do to release the fear and the anger?
Well, first of all, frustration is a concept. So
concept, Matt.
It's not a feeling. It's how he feels. So how do you feel? Do you feel scared? Do you feel, controlled? Do you feel, what is it? Mm-hmm. See, we were all brought up, we all came in, and what we learned from the moment we were born perfect. They slapped our ass and everything went downhill from there. Because everybody taught us survival.
Yeah.
You got to have a job, get a nice house, there's nothing further from the truth. That brings no satisfaction. There's only one thing that brings satisfaction, is when you are connected to who you truly are. Mm-hmm. Everything else is outside of you. The house, the car, the job, the people, everything's outside of you.
So how do you find you?
The physical.
I mean, how do you find you? I mean, that would be an amazing thing to understand. Is it a choice you make, a thought mindset you get into? How do you find your true chutzpah, I guess? I mean,
no, it's actually your divine purpose. We each come to earth with 7 divine gifts. So our purpose is energetic. It isn't what we do, it's how we do it.
What we do, it's how we do it. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you can't tie who you believe you are to just the accomplishments in life. So when you say it's not about what you do,
but that's what everybody does, because they're based on survival. And the reason they do it is because everybody else does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to disconnect from that to thrive, because it's just energetic. You come to earth with 7 divine gifts: divine compassion, divine creation, divine order, divine healing, divine authentic self-expression, divine truth, and divine power. We each have all 7 of those gifts, but we have them in different proportions. When I got into my path to personal transformation, I walked out of my life, and 25 years ago, literally walked out and changed everything but my name. And one of the things I did is I went down to Mexico, and during that time, I found out I was an energetic empath, which means people call it psychic, whatever. But through the course of all of my personal transformation, all the things I've learned, I found out about the divine gifts about 10 years ago. And the moment I found out about them, it was like, boom, I knew everything about it. It was crazy. I've been working with them ever since, writing. That's all I've done ever since. And I don't know, like, have you ever heard of the Akashic Records or Acacia?
Yeah.
Acacia is the history of time. It's the energetic history of time, right? So I have the ability to go to the Akashic Records and get a person's spiritual DNA, right? And I've been doing that 8 years, never gotten it wrong. In fact, I'm the only business coach in the world who will let you write a guarantee of money, but you write your own money back guarantee. If it doesn't come true, you can have all your money back. That's how powerful this is.
Wow.
Because once you find you go.
What's the general time frame then when people find them?
I can change a person's life in 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
Yeah. But then and then after that, you have to learn to integrate it, because you will see that you are so addicted to the physical. It's just nuts. It's nuts. And one of the things I studied was Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Maslow was the father of humanistic psychology. He lived from like 1900 to 1970, but all he studied was human potential. Freud was looking at our shadow side. So Maslow developed this chart, the hierarchy of needs. You can look it up on the internet. But you'll find in the first 4 basic levels of need, physiological, safety, love and belonging, and esteem, everybody gets blocked in those 4 areas. But we have other needs. We have a cognitive need and an aesthetic need, which allows us to have self-actualizations, which takes you to transcendence and your divine purpose. Everybody's stuck. It's like they don't want to hear what somebody's going to say, because all they're thinking about is running to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee. You know, I mean, because when you start comparing to what the universe can do to what we do, it's absurd.
So Bill, let me ask you this. Does this in any way, shape, or form directly conflict with religion? Or does this work in harmony with religion?
Is there any religion that doesn't believe in the universe and the planets and that everything's a vibration? Does any religion go against scientific proof?
But the question is like, why isn't this taught in mainstream religion then? Because wouldn't this take away from the deities that
Let me tell you why. Okay,
go.
Because this is, when you have this, you have your authentic self, and you are free to do what you want, where you want, when you want, with who you want, anytime you want. And there's a complete loss of control.
Yeah, that's what they don't teach it in the mainstream, right?
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Because once you get this, I've been doing this, like I said, 8 years. And you talk to my clients, like one client said, you know how they do an advertisement, take a pill and wake up skinny and rich in the morning? He said, that's like working with Bill. It's like, it just stuff happens, right? All you have, look, they just found another beep in outer space last week. They heard it 2 years ago. They think there's a civilization out there. It's 1.5 million light years away.
Oh, it's our next door neighbor then. Okay.
Right. And now a light year is how far light goes in a year. Light travels at 56,000 miles a second. Okay. So, but here's the important part. That's part of the universe. That's part of me. I'm connected to that. I'm an energetic, vibrating being.
I believe that 100%.
Right.
So I'm going to hang out with the power. Mindset is force. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this for 30 days. I tell my clients very simply, I don't even care what your results are. I could care less. That's up to you. You've got to make the choices. But once they do, here's a good example. A client of mine had $50,000 worth of debt that he'd been moving around on some credit cards. We met on Tuesday. He says, I'm thinking of maybe getting a loan or something for that. I said, well, let's create some energy, make something happen. He's like, yeah, I'm already doing that. It's like, okay. 2 days later, his bank called him. They have never called him before to say that they realized he was in business, that he need any money.
No way.
Wow.
Brian Devine in Colorado. Yeah, I mean, everything I'm telling you is 100% true. It's just energy, though. Like attracts like.
Mm-hmm.
It's real simple. So we're all contaminated with life lessons and everything that we've been chasing in the physical, because that doesn't blend with the universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the energy behind it isn't supporting expansion and growth. It's supporting survival.
So let me ask you a question, Bill. Let's say 2018 for an agent was a real crummy year, right? Like maybe the worst they've ever had. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going to make 19 my best year. And this is applicable because we're in February of 19 right now. And this is where resolutions are starting to fall off the cliff. How can someone change their energy state to just bam, get to where they need to be or should be? Is there like a one pill cures it all, or is it a whole series of things? I mean, how does that work, man?
Well, the way it works to begin with is what somebody does in survival is, if they want to go get a listing or something, they're going to go in there and scratch, claw, fight, and strangle, do whatever they can to get the business, and the same with sales. When in fact, if you can be a source of valuable information and connect with people energetically, you'll have a line out the door of your office.
Connect with people energetically.
We are here to be of service. Mm-hmm. So as I speak to you, I am flowing the energy. You've probably noticed that your energy has changed just listening to me. There's not the energy I'm moving is one of giving, of expansion, love, of sharing, of being of value, with no attachment to whatever happens to any of this. I could care less. The universe will take care of that.
Yeah. So you just need to worry about you getting to your spot, and then whatever happens to what. So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I'm picking up what Bill's laying down, right? Then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go be me for the rest of the day. I'm just going to push out my positive, good energy. And then that's it. That's where my responsibility stops. Because if someone else I interact with takes it in a negative way, Matt, then it's going to be on them to deal with their own ramifications from that. But my job is done at that point by pushing the positive energy out, right?
Right. See how long you can go.
I have so many jokes with that.
Because, and here's why, okay? Because so much is going against you. Let me tell you what's going against you. You have all of these elements. Let's just start with everybody else in the world living with life lessons that they have no clue about.
What do you mean by that phrase, Bill? Go deeper on that a little bit for me, if you will. What do you mean?
It's real simple. What do you know about your life lessons?
Okay.
Tell me what you know about your life lessons.
Matt.
Good question. I don't even know how to understand. I don't know how to answer the question. So that's, yeah.
So understand this. You're here to learn something. And if you don't learn it, it's going to keep disrupting and interrupting your life and creating struggle, worry, blah, 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 blah. Right?
So in other words,
what I'm saying is everyone else on the planet is living that way.
Right.
Lessons they're going to disrupt you.
Yeah.
Just think of how many disruptions come into your life from outside of you, Matt, aside from Greg.
Right. I know. And those account for a high percentage.
Right. So if Greg's doing something and it's creating discomfort in you, you have to look at that, Matt. What is it reminding you of? There's something going on that isn't true.
Yeah, either it's a reminder of past trauma or it's a misinterpretation.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Every emotion is tied to a story.
Yes, that's really good.
And I meet with people all the time. Oh, I had issues with my father and I took care of that. And I look at them and laugh and say, it's running your life. If you think it's solved, it's running your life without your awareness. And then I show them. Because anything that ever enters the system will never leave it. It will always be there.
But you can clean it out, right?
You can love it to death.
Love it to death. Literally, that's a physical thing. Like you can love it to death until it's no longer there. It'll just shrivel
right up if you just go in and love it.
So let's say someone had
but what everybody does is run from it. They all go to the casinos. They go shopping. They buy cars. They buy houses. Blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean, everyone's had a bad relationship in their life. If they haven't, then there's something really wrong with them. So if you can go back to that male or that female that you dated or married to, whatever else, and you say, okay, this person, this scenario took place. It could be a business partner, it could be whatever. Mm-hmm. And you say, okay, this negative.
Thank you for saying that, because
I'm gonna love
business partners are relationships that are in trouble all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt and I've actually worked really well together. We've had some knockdown, drag out fights, but then we sit there and we listen to each other and we're like, okay, dude, I hear what you're saying. I hear you're saying, and we have a good, long, cleansing conversation.
So let me tell you a solution to that right now.
Okay.
Anytime the two of you get into confrontation, what you say to each other is this. You say, Greg, if you tell me what you're protecting, I'll tell you what I'm protecting.
Oh.
Bingo.
It's that can be working, and I can work in a personal relationship, a professional relationship. Just saying, look, I don't want to fight with you. Just tell me what you're protecting. I'll tell you what I am.
Yeah.
Really
watch where that goes.
People won't get it though. They'll be like, fuck you, man. I'm protecting shit. And then you're like,
defensiveness creates every problem in life. People are constantly defensive. Constantly.
Yeah. So when people find themselves, do you see them go in a reverse, sometimes so they'll get on point and then they get off point. Then they have to get back on, right? They can't.
You have to understand, the universe is omnipotent. It's infinite. Okay. And like right now, I could take you guys through a meditation and we could just go do some wild things, right?
Could we?
Okay. But the problem is, we're in the physical. We're in limitation. And what people do is they go do yoga and meditate and do all that stuff to escape from the physical because it feels good. Mm-hmm. But they don't know how to integrate it. What you do is you integrate it, the energy, into the physical. And when you do that, everything changes. But they're too busy protecting stuff. And, I've heard it all. I've seen it all.
I did a meditation 2014. I was at a Tom Ferry event. He led about 3,500 to 4,000 people through a meditation. Yeah. And it was one of the most powerful. It was probably, if not the biggest, most powerful thing I've ever experienced in my entire life, because I completely saw it. It was embodied, the entire thing. I saw my future self. I talked to my future self. I had an experience there, and I came back and I was crying in the middle of a bunch of 4,000 people. I was sobbing like a 4-year-old girl. And I never forgot it. And there's something that was said to me by my future self. I asked my future self, hey, do I make it? And my future self said, yes, but you have to stay the course. I don't use that phrase ever.
Well, staying the course is finding out your divinity. All he did in that meditation was take you into an energetic state of expansion.
It was ridiculous. I tell that story hundreds of times. It was the most powerful thing.
All of these ideas you have and all this information going through your head, if you will let them go, write them on paper so you can physically clear your head, then throw the paper away. You don't need them. Sit when you need to figure something out, just go sit quietly. Just be still, and it'll pop right in for you.
It does. It's happened to me quite a bit of times. I'm just sitting there quiet, or I'm working out, or I'm doing something.
Well, you're tapping into universal wisdom. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
everything in the history of time is out there. So if you had an idea or heard something, it's a vibration. It's just a vibration.
Yeah, I've studied vibrations. I've studied changing them and getting them to different states, and it really is amazing to transfer from one state to another state. When you feel that shift, you're like, oh my God, what just happened? That was incredible.
That's transcension.
It's an incredible thing.
It's transcension. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Matt, what questions do you have? You're sitting in the
corner. I was going to say that might be a good stopping point, because we're going to go way down a bunch of different rabbit holes if we keep going.
We are bringing Bill back. We are bringing Bill back.
Yeah, I was going to say there was something you said. Mindset is power. Energy is force.
Excuse me. It was just the opposite.
Was it the opposite? Sorry.
Matt, you had a dyslexic moment. Welcome to the club, buddy.
Apparently I did.
Well, let me tell you why it's just the opposite.
Okay.
Which of those is physical and which is non-physical?
So say it again, right? Say it the correct way.
Force being what? Like physical exertion or an exertion of.
How is it that you would experience force?
A negative way, maybe?
Experienced force. I don't know. Yeah, good question.
You would have to see it in the physical.
Okay.
You'd have to see somebody be forceful, right?
Okay.
You would have to take a forceful energy and I'm going to get this done. I'm going to break through this. I can do this, right?
Okay.
Power is, oh, I'm just going to lay some love on this and good energy and just let the energy do its thing. That's power.
I love the love your fears or love your whatever to death. What was it? Love what to death? Love your fears to death? Love your
inner game issues to death.
Yeah, I think we're talking about just negative inputs. You said once something negative.
The stories attached to the emotions.
Just love it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, we've got one more question for you because we need to figure out how you sold a house that was currently on fire.
Through mindset.
Do that. We just want to quickly thank Wise Hire because they're big supporters of the show. We love them. We've used them. And so, guys, if you're building your real estate team, if you're recruiting, if you're hiring admin staff, whatever, make sure to go to Wise Hire. Check them out. They run everybody against a DISC profile. Everybody goes through an assessment, and they basically tell you who matches up best with the profiles that we know work well for certain position within a real estate team. So that way you're talking to people that have the best chance of succeeding in that role. Mm-hmm. So go to Wise Hire and check them out. Greg, what's the best way to get in connection with you?
One more thing. Wise Hire is amazing. They brought over 400 leads to my radio sales team so far. Unbelievably awesome. So effective, so easy. Best way to get a hold of me, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Again, that's bookmcdaniel.com. If I could show you a provable way where you can make more money with EXP and joining our group, and you put more money in your bottom line, and you can also get involved with, get access to people like Bill, the other people, Nick Sanchez, the other folks that we run with, that might improve your business. Get a hold of me. It'll take 30 minutes. Let's talk about EXP. So go to bookmcdaniel.com. Let's get on a call. Matt, how do they rate and judge the show with love?
Yeah, with love. Just go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
Love and judgment don't go together.
How can they judge the show?
It would be love and compassion.
Yeah, please put a loving, compassionate review on iTunes for us. That's the best way to do it. And then, Bill, what's the best way to connect with you if they feel like they're gelling with you? And
a couple of things. My website is truelifepurposenow.com.
Okay.
But I've just completed a book called The 7 Levels of Truth: The Answer to Life's Biggest Question. And you can get that. Right now, we're doing a soft launch on it. You can get it at my cost. It's the same program that other people do where they give the books away free and you pay shipping and handling. Mm-hmm. I refuse to do that because it's out of integrity. You get it at my cost, which is the same program. It's $8.95, or you can buy it on Amazon for $18. And it's the 7 Levels of Truth: The Answer to Life's Biggest Question. And that's at book.truelifepurposenow.com. And that's everything I teach in my coaching. And the reason I wrote the book is from an energetic standpoint, is exactly what we were talking about before, Greg. And that's being here of service, to give. People can read the book. They will connect with the energy. I mean, that book is going to create a personal transformation evolution, not a revolution, but an evolution, because this work just blows everybody away. Anybody I've ever worked with, they're blown away. I tell them, if you're not blown away, I'll give you your money back. It's like that simple.
Well, I'm definitely going to get the book because I love this type of conversation, and I've been looking for something like this. So I personally, guys, I'm going to get the book. Obviously, don't have it yet, but I cannot wait to dive into that.
I'm going to tell you, Greg, 2 things. One that I want you to remember, and then I'll talk about how I sold a house while it was on fire. One, is it love or fear?
Right.
Ask yourself that every second.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is, what are you protecting?
Great question.
Because with love, there's nothing to protect, ever.
Okay.
What happens with love? The more you give,
the more you receive, right?
Right. Fear causes you to protect. And anytime you're in fear, I guarantee you're putting the physical first.
That demands a longer conversation. Let me tell you how. Well, listen, we could go for 3 days straight. I've got that much content.
without a break just on this podcast.
Oh
But let me tell you how I sold a house while it was on fire. This was back in 1981. This was before I was even in personal transformation. Okay. But everything that I've spoken to you about took place. It was about expansion. It was about opportunity. And it was about whatever was happening in the present moment. You see, in order to have fear, Greg, you must go to the past.
True.
It's impossible to have fear in the present moment. So if you're connected energetically with your heart, you don't have to wonder. You can just take it to the bank. When you're connected with your heart in the present moment, you can never be in fear. You'll hear something that reminds you of a story from the past that creates the fear. So I was holding an open house. This was up in Incline Village, up at Lake Tahoe. I lived up there 20 years. Holding an open house one day, and this woman comes in, and I'm talking to her, and she's telling me what she's looking for. I got just the place for you. It was at the L'Hermitage Condominiums on Southwood Boulevard in Incline Village. It was unit number 1. Alan B. was the owner, and it was my listing. So I said, let me just close the open house. We'll run down. I'll show it to you. So we go down, 3-story unit, garage on the bottom, beautiful first floor, nice oak, just done in the 3rd floor with bedrooms, really beautiful. We go in, we go up on the 1st floor, and I can feel there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And we're standing there, and she's looking around. How do you like it? She says, it's nice. I said, I don't need to check around. Sure enough, I go upstairs, and I can hear, or I can see the smoke coming out of the closet where the water heater is.
No way.
Right? Now, what's happened is I open it just a little and can see, and what's happened is the gas line just broke. It probably broke 30 minutes before we got there. Boom, the flames are shooting out, but it melted the water heater. And so there's water, but there's flames, and now there's, right? So I walked back downstairs and said to Lois, I said, okay, we got a little issue here.
We have a wonderful opportunity to demonstrate positive energy right now.
There's a fire in the, nothing to panic. We're just going to leave, but let me call the fire department first. We didn't have cell phones since 1980. I had to use the phone on the counter, rotary or whatever the hell it was, right? Literally, right? So the fire department ends up, it's like maybe a quarter mile away. So the minute I call, boom, you can hear the sirens. I said, let's get out. And so the fire engines come in. Those guys go inside. And I said to her, you didn't really see much of it, but what did you think of what you saw? She said, well, it looked pretty nice. I said, listen to this. You can remodel the whole place with the insurance money.
So true.
Right?
Oh my God.
And she took it.
I said, do you want to go write it up?
Yeah, and she said yes. Oh, that's hilarious.
Wow, that's awesome.
But can you see how every principle that we were talking about before came into play?
Yeah. You didn't allow fear to dictate anything to you at all. Because you could have run out with your hair on fire, freaking out. But in actuality, you calmly walked down, which surprised me. You didn't run down. You said you walked down, and when you said walk, you weren't in the high tension when you said walked. Walk down. Lois, we got an interesting opportunity here.
Yeah, we had an issue, yeah. A legitimate issue.
That's a really funny story. So if anyone else can top that, you can sell a house that's literally on fire. We would love to hear from you.
Yes.
That is you should get an award for that.
Yeah, it was in Realtor magazine.
Was it
really?
Yeah. If you go back to like 81, 82, they put it out quarterly then. It was in our
That's awesome.
Legendary real estate agent sells home while engulfed in flames.
That's
Yeah. Was he in flames or was it home? Yeah, most of the agents are.
That sounds like a great headline to me. Oh my God, that's funny. All right. Well, we'll definitely have to have you back, Bill. This is a blast. There's so much more that we could talk about. And I hope people go grab the book. So you can get it at book.truelifepurposenow.com. Is that the right link?
That's it.
Perfect. All right. So make sure to go grab that. It's way better than giving Amazon money. So give it directly to Bill.
That's shipping and handling. It's $8.95.
Yeah, and I know a bunch of people that run that offer. That is true. That is actually what that is what that costs. Unless you get some weird bulk discount or something. Yeah.
See, there's a thin line there. Now, Greg would appreciate this, right? Because integrity is one of his life lessons.
Right? Yes, it is. Thank you.
I know it is. And there's a fine line when it comes to integrity.
Okay.
I'm not going for a tie. I'm going over to the universe's side.
Right.
I'm coming in with full integrity.
Questionable, right.
Not the free book offer, because it's not free. It costs $8.95. Now, anyone can sit and protect the free book offer. That's fine. They can do what they want. I don't care what they do. It's just what I'm going to do from an energetic reason. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's great. I think they would probably tell you the same thing. It's just that the only question is, some of them are, let's say the free plus shipping offer works better because the phrasing works better to the people on the receiving end.
They set the hooks.
They would protect their slightly higher conversions at the loss of that bit of integrity.
And probably significantly higher conversions.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
And that's fine. Okay. That's their path, and that's all right. But yeah, I very much respect that. I've thought about the free plus shipping offer for when my book in progress comes out. And that's something I have to seriously consider, is whether I believe that's in or out of integrity, and just how to phrase that and stuff like that. So
I'll give you a great tip if you're thinking of writing a book, or anybody else is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do a GoFundMe on it.
Why is that?
Pre-sell it.
Okay.
And you get interest out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt, you have a lot of chapters done. You could give like a free chapter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just, you say, hey, I'm right. You just go do, I can't think of all the crowdfunding sites, but you just go pick one, and like Indiegogo, and it's like, I think that's one of them. But anyway.
That's a great idea. Very, very cool. I like that.
Really.
And you can do it before the book is written.
Yeah, totally.
So I wonder how we could do a GoFundMe for picking up buyers. Hey, you guys want to buy a house? Anyways, that's one of my ideas. I should go write this down and let it go. Okay.
I think you should write that one down and let that go right now. Anyway, you have so many.
Yes, because if you let it go, it will expand.
Oh, that's not good. Nope. Keep that right trapped up in your head, Greg. Never mind. We don't want that idea to expand.
So Bill, here's a really quick thing, and I'll let you go. So I was down I was representing a buyer on one of my last transactions. I was down at a meeting with the seller with my buyer, and the seller was complaining to me about their real estate agent, how crummy the real estate agent was, and how they didn't explain anything. All of a sudden, it popped into my head. I'm like, oh my God, I need to run a seller campaign or seller seminar, how to sell your home if you haven't sold it ever before, or you haven't done it in a number of years. Everyone thought I was nuts when I did this. Everyone's like, that's never going to work. Buyer seminars is where you got to go. I'm like, no, there's something here, because I just felt it in my bone.
You could feel it. That's see there. You weren't thinking it.
I just
you're
thinking
you're in the past.
Yes. And guess what, Bill? On my radio show that I do every Sunday, we have people. I had 3 people call in yesterday, talk directly about the seller campaign. I had 2 more people afterwards, message me like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing! This is so helpful!" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "This really is working. This is amazing."
Would that be called? Maybe we could call that the energetic path to success.
I would believe you are correct, good sir.
All right, you two guys. Good Lord, I'm gonna have to set you guys up for the podcast episode by yourselves.
Okay. Oh my God. 2-hour show. Here we come.
Exactly. I know. Bill, this has been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. I'm really
That's been fun. Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll say our public goodbyes, and then we'll chat with Bill for a few minutes. So we appreciate everybody watching, listening, all that good stuff. Greg, let's put a nice bright red bow upon this episode and call it a day. Okay, bright red bow. Thank you guys for watching. Bill, really thank you. Man, this is what you're dropping is some heavy, like 500-pound bombs on people, and they don't know what to do with them with knowledge. I want you guys to go back and listen to this again. I'll tell them what to do with them. Yes. What are you going to do with the bombs? Here's what they should do with it. Nothing. Nothing. Just be with it. Watch what happens. Be one with your bombs. The energy of what you call 500-pound bomb. Just be. It's who we are. It's what we breathe. I love that. I'm going to do that. Matt, next time I don't talk, I'm like, Matt, I'm with my bomb right now. Let me do my thing. Okay.
But guys, thank you for coming around. We love you to pieces. Share this episode. This is a lot of good information. Until next time, guys. Peace out, ninjas. We're gone.